Hello class, today we're going to review the Unit 7 Part 1 practice test. Remember, each test is in Blackboard, it's open, you have until April 24th to uh, take the test. Go in, take it at your own time, please do your best. You got one shot to do this, so take your time, make sure you get the questions right. Alright, so let's begin our review. Question number 1. Here it says which expression is equivalent to. Basically, what they're asking you to do is to solve this problem here and to see which one of these four questions is the answer. Right, to solve this problem, we're going to have to distribute or multiply 2x plus 3 times 2x minus 3. Right, you guys remember that to solve these type of problems, we were using the box method in class. So what the box method is we're going to take the first parentheses and we're going to break it up into the amount of terms. That has two terms, so the first term is 2x, that's going to go here. Then we're going to put 3 there. That's a positive 3, so we don't have to put a sign. So we have 2x here again, and then we have negative 3. Once we do that, we're just going to multiply and then combine like terms. We know when we multiply a term, the numbers change the numbers and the variables change the variables, correct? So we have 2 times 2, which is going to be 4. And then we have x times x. So that's x to the first power times x to the first power. When you multiply bases that are the same, you add the exponents. So that's going to be 4x squared. 1 plus 1 is 2. Then you have 2x times negative 3. The 2 times the negative 3 is going to give you negative 6. Because there's nothing to change the x, it's just going to stay x. Now you have 3 times 2x, right? So it's going to be 6x. And then you have 3 times negative 3, which is going to be negative 9. Now, we have 4 terms here. When you do these boxes, right, you will see that there are typically going to be terms that are like. So we write it out, 4x squared plus 6x. And then we take plus 6x because this square takes the sign of this term. So if this is negative, that will be negative, right? So if that's negative, and that's negative. You just have to take the sign here of this term. So it's going to be a positive 6x. And here it's going to be a negative 6x minus 9. Now when you add these two together, because these are the only like terms, 6x minus 6x is 0x. But we don't have to write that. So our final answer is just 4x squared minus 9. So the correct answer was C. Alright, let's move along. Alright, number 2, it says here the length of a rectangular classroom floor is 8 feet less than twice the width. Which expression represents the area of the classroom floor? It tells you right here the area is equal to length times width. Now, looking at this rectangle, we understand that it doesn't matter which one we classify as length or width. You do have to classify one as length and one as width, but it doesn't matter. So here we're just going to say L is equal to 2x minus 8, and width is going to equal to x. Now we know that area is length times width, so if we come over here and we write that down, we say area equals length times width. We just simply substitute it in. So A is going to be equal to, what was our length? 2x plus 8. Now you always sub in with parentheses. And our W is just x. So what's going to happen here is the x is going to multiply to each term inside of that parentheses. So A is going to equal to 2x, sorry, x, and then negative 8 times x. So we're going to have 2x squared minus 8x. Is there anything that we can combine? Nope, that's an x squared and that's an 8x. We cannot combine that. So the correct answer is not A. Remember, on these tests, they're always going to have a problem or an answer that looks very close to the final answer, right? The only thing that's different here is the x. And this is the question, this is the answer you see first. So if you're not patient, you will pick this one and not the correct answer, which is this one here. All right, move along. All right, so now we're just going to add these terms up, which is equivalent. Basically, what is the answer to this problem? When you have problems like this, you have to see if there's a negative here. If there's a minus sign, remember, you take that minus sign, you distribute, and you change the sign. Because we're adding here, all we have to do is take the like terms and add them together. So number one, we have 3x. There's nothing here we can add. We have 5x. There's nothing in here we can add, and then we have x. So we're going to do 3x plus 5x plus x. Remember, just take the sign in front of the term. It makes it so much easier to remember if it's a positive, negative. Just take the sign in front. So that's literally 3 plus 5, which is going to be 8. And then there's an invisible 1 there. So that's just going to be 9x. So we're done with the x's. Now we look to see what we can combine with the 6y. There's nothing in this parentheses, so we have 6x minus 8y. Remember, we just took the sign in front. So that's a negative 8y, so it just turns into minus 8y. In here we have 7y, it turns into negative 7y. So now we're just going to add, use your Desmos if you have to, just 6 minus 8, that's a negative 2, minus 7, that's negative 9. Uh-oh. Negative 9y. What's going on here? What happens if I delete that? Alright, negative 9y. Okay. Now that's gone and that's gone. Now we're looking at the z's. So we have a negative z, we have a negative 4z, and then we have a positive z. So z, negative z minus 4z is going to be negative 5z, right? So if that's negative 5z plus z, it's going to be negative 4z. So your correct answer is, or your final answer is 9x minus 9y minus 4z. Now look at A and look at B. A looks just like B. The only difference is these have squares. Please, when you're taking this test, you're going to know what to do. It's going to come down to if you're going to pay attention to the little differences. Look at B and look at D. These are very close as well, right? Except for this is a plus 4x, that's a minus 4x. So please make sure you double check your work. Make sure you have the correct answers down. All right, let's move along. This one here, you're just going to multiply. So we just have to multiply. Remember, when there's no term, when there's no sign in between the terms or in between the terms in their parentheses, that means it's going to default to multiplication. So remember, we're going to multiply 5x to the fourth, y times x, y to the second. So let's write that over here. Then we're going to multiply 5x to the fourth, y times negative 2xy squared. Remember, like terms change like terms. So what I mean by that is only the x can change the x here. So only this x can change this x. Only the 1 here can change this 5. And only this y can change that y squared. Everything else you just leave alone. So 5 times 1, right, is going to give you 5. X to the fourth power times x. Yes, that's an invisible 1 there. 4 plus 1, you add when you multiply, so that's x to the fifth power. And then we have y to the third power, because there's an invisible 1 there. So we did 1 plus 2, y to the third. Now we do 5 times negative 2, we get negative 10. Take this sign and just put it in front. X to the fourth times x to the first gives you x to the fifth. And y to the first times y to the second gives you y to the third. So this is your answer here. Remember, now that you have your answer, you have to go through and see which one matches. So this one was pretty close. Well, this one's not close. This one's pretty close here, except for it has x to the fourth power and x to the fourth power and y to the second and y to the second. So that one caught your eye, but it's not correct. Here we have the correct answer. Right? So be careful when you guys are taking this test. Number 5, same thing we did before. We're just going to use the box method again. Set up your box so that you have 4 places to put your answers. So remember, just take the sign, 5x minus 4. That's a negative 4 because that's negative 4 there. Remember, just take the sign of the number. When there's no sign, it's a positive. So now we have 5x times 2x, which is going to be 5 times 2, which is 10. And x times x. Remember, that's the invisible 1. That's the invisible 1. When we multiply bases, we add the exponents. So that's going to be x squared. So 5x times negative 8 is going to be negative 40x. And then we have negative 4 times 2x, which is negative 8x. And here we have negative 4 times negative 8, which is a positive 32. You don't have to write that positive down, I just did it. Now we write down all our terms. And we're looking for terms that are the same, like terms. Are there any terms we can combine? Like I said before, typically it's going to be terms that are in the diagonal, all right, diagonal relationship. So we know that negative 40x and 8x are like terms, so we can combine those. So that's going to give us negative 48x, and we're going to have 10x squared minus 48x plus 32. Now we look for that answer. There it is. All right, we're doing pretty good. Moving along here. All right, so coming down now, this one we were talking about before when it was addition signs. When it is a negative sign, an alarm should go off. Beep, beep, beep. I need to distribute this negative 1. Remember, there's a negative 1 out here. I need to distribute this negative 1 to each term inside of the parentheses before I do anything. So negative times a negative. What you're doing is simply changing the signs. When you have that negative, because the 1 means the number is going to stay the same, you're just changing the signs. So that's going to be a positive 3x squared. That's going to be a positive x, and that's going to be a positive 4. Now you still have your negative 8x squared plus 9x minus 1. Now you're going to add these together. So we have 3x squared and negative 8x. That's going to leave you with negative 5x squared. Then you have 9x and x. That's going to leave you with positive 10x. And then this is my negative 1 and my 4. That's going to leave me with positive 3. Alright, so this one is wrong. They forgot. What did they do wrong here? They did everything right, except for they forgot to make this x a positive. So they did negative x plus 9x, and they got 8. This is the correct answer here. As you guys can see, it's just one off for each. Right, one thing is off here. Well, actually, two things are off here, but one thing is off here. So just make sure, you guys, and there's one off here, one thing off here. So just make sure you guys do your best to be diligent and always check your work. Like I said, on this test, you guys will know what to do when you see it. It's just gonna be, are you gonna be um, diligent enough to get the right answer? So now here, when you see this square, we're not just distributing. That's not what we're going to do here. This square means because there's this minus sign here, it separates the two terms. When it separates the two terms, you're not just going to distribute. What you're going to do now is write this out 2 times. Now, when we see a problem like that, what do we use to solve these problems? We use a box. All right, so we're going to knock out the box method. So we'll have 4x here. We'll have negative 5y. We'll have 4x here. We'll have negative 5y. So that's going to be 16x squared. It's going to be 4 times 5. Negative 5 is negative 20. And what happens with the x and y? They're not the same, so nothing changes. So you just bring them together, x, y. Same thing here, negative 20 xy. And then we have positive 25y squared. Now we're going to combine like terms. Remember, they're going to be on the diagonal. So we're going to have 16x squared minus 20xy minus 20xy plus 25y squared. And then you're going to have 16x squared minus 40xy plus 25y squared. That would be your answer. So now you look for one of those, and it looks like B is the correct answer right here. All right, let's move on. All right, number 8. All right, we're just going to add like terms here. This one, going to go through pretty quickly because we still have 6 problems to go. So this one I know you guys know how to do, so I'll just quickly go through it. So that's 7x. You just remember adding like terms, 7x plus 9x, and that's going to give you 16x to the 7th. Then you have negative 7. I'm going to circle the ones that, oh, you don't have anything to match with this. So we're just going to bring that along, and it's going to be negative 7x cubed. Now we go to 3x. Is there anything, I'll make this one a triangle. Different shapes. Is there anything that goes with 3x? Nope. So you just add the 3x. Now I can make this a square. 6 minus 5 is going to give you a positive 1. So we started with 2 parentheses, right? Each had 3 terms in it. But because 2 of the terms did not combine, we have moved to a 4-term polynomial. Right? So which one is correct? Negative 7x cubed plus 3x. So the correct answer is A. All right, let's move along. All right, here, okay. This we're going to use the box method. This one is a little bit different because we have 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. So we need 5 squares. So it's going to look, there you go, right? We're going to have to make it a little bit longer than the other ones. So we'll put the b squared here, the negative 9b here, and then the 7 here. This is going to go b, and this is going to go 3. Now we're just going to multiply. So that's going to be b to the first times b to the second is b to the third. Negative 9b times b is negative 9b squared. B times 7 is 7b. And then we're going to go 3b squared. We're going to go negative 27b. And then positive 21. Remember we said the diagonal. So that is true again. One set of diagonals, 2 sets of diagonals. We will combine those two. So we'll have b cubed. We'll go negative 9b squared plus 3b squared. Then we'll go 7b. And we'll go minus 27b plus 21. Alright, so these two combine and these two combine. So we have negative 9b, that's going to, plus 3b, that's going to give us negative 6b squared. And then here we have 7b minus 27b, that's going to give us negative 20b. And then we're going to just bring down to 21. Remember, these two weren't changed, so they just come down. So now we're looking for 4 terms, so we have b cubed minus 6b minus 20b plus 21. There you go. Bang. All right, we're on number 10. We have 4 problems left. Here, this is not too difficult. We're just going to distribute here. So that's going to be negative 2 times 7, which is negative 14. A times a, which is a squared. Now we have negative 2 times negative 8, which is a positive 16. And then because there's not an a here, this a doesn't change. Because there's not a b here, this b doesn't change. So it's just going to be a, b. Remember, these are close, right? This is very close. They forgot the b here. They didn't change it to a positive there, right? But this is the only one that's correct. So you can know what you're doing and still get the wrong answer. All right, so you guys please be very, very diligent in this. All right, Now we're just dividing here. When we divide like this, we're going to make three separate fractions. So this is my fraction over here, 2x to the 6y, and then we have 2x to the 6th y. I'm getting better, but I'm not great at this. All right, so now we're just dividing. Remember, numbers change numbers and variables change variables. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. X to the 6 divided by x to the 6. Remember, when we are dividing, we subtract the exponents. 6 minus 6 is 0, right? So that means it's x to the 0 power. Anything to the 0 power is 1. We do not write the 1. We don't have to write the x, so we write nothing. That cancels out. Y divided by y cancels out. So the only thing left here is a 5, right? So we have 2 divided by 2, which is 1. We don't have to write that 1, but we're going to keep that here. We know that that cancels to a 1. We may have to write that if the variables cancel out. If there are variables left over, we don't have to write the 1. So now we have 12, x to the 12 divided by x to the 6. We're going to divide here. It's going to be x to the 6th. We have y to the 3rd divided by y to the 1st. That's y to the 2nd. Now, we don't come back to this 1. We don't have to write the 1 there because everybody knows that when there's nothing in front of the variable, there's an invisible 1. But let's say that each of these would have canceled out. We need a placeholder of that 1 to remind us when we multiply back, if we have to, that there is a 1 there. Okay? Coming here, 18 divided by 2 is 9. X to the 16th power, x to the 6th power, subtract, that's x to the 10th, y to the 8th, y to the 1st, subtract, that's y to the 7th. All right, let's see what we have here. So we have 5, x to the 6, y squared, and A is our answer. Let's move on. All right, here we have the same thing. It's just written, instead of vertically, it's written horizontally. Remember, you're just still going to make however many terms there are, that's how many fractions you will have. So this is going to be 2b squared. This is going to be 2b squared. This is going to be 2b squared. And this is going to be 2b squared. All of these divided by 2b squared. So it's going to be 2b to the 5th. That's going to be 8b to the 3rd. That's going to be negative 6b. 3 minus 2 is 1. And then we're going to have plus 12b squared divided by b squared cancels out. You just get 12. Right? So now let's see which one is correct. And D is correct. All right. Here, very simple, 2 terms. So 2 terms means we're going to have, you got it, 2 fractions. 12 divided by 4 is 3. X to the 4th divided by x squared is x squared. And then here's where we have that placeholder of 1. 4 divided by 4, that's negative 1. Remember, we hold that. X squared divided by x squared is 1. That cancels out, but we do need a placeholder, so we just put our negative 1 here. All right, last problem. All right, one more of these. You see that there are 3 terms being divided by 1, so now we need 3 fractions. All right, we're just going to simplify here. 10 divided by 5 is 2. X to the 4th divided by x to the 3rd is x. Then we have negative 20 divided by 5 is negative 4. X to the 12th divided by x to the 3rd is 12 minus 3 is 9. And then finally, 15 divided by 5 is 3. And then here we have x to the 3rd divided by x to the 3rd. That subtracts out, cancels out. We're left with the number 3. All right, let's see which one matches that. And it is C. All right, you guys. So all 3 test reviews are going to be uploaded All three tests are going to be open. Remember, you have until the 24th to complete these. Once you complete them, I'll put in the updated grade. I hope you guys do your best to improve your grade if it's not what you expect for the third quarter. But after this, everything after this is going to go on the fourth quarter. So you guys take your time, make your third quarter grade as high as it can be. I'm rooting for you guys to do well. Remember, any questions, anything you need, reach out to me through email. I'll respond as quickly as possible. All right, you guys, have a great day.